Hi everyone, it's Jeanette from J-Craft with you again. Today I'd like to show you some of the Sweet Poppy stencils which I've recently just started stocking. They're really fantastic and I've just fallen in love with them. We're going to be using the Pine Sprigs one, and this one has a matching die to cut the bow out for the middle if you want to use it, and just the stencil aperture. So a couple of really simple ones today. So we'll get cracking, and the first card we're going to make is this one. Really simple. As you know, I like simple. So all I've done, I've got a 5x8 card blank. And these are already pre-scored. They're just some that I had in my stash. So I've just folded that in half. And then I've got some of the mirror card in the rose gold. That comes in packs of 5 sheets for $5.50 in gold, silver, red, black, and this really pretty rose gold, which actually goes perfectly with the Copper Splash Pixie Sparkle, which we're going to be using in this card. So we'll start off, and I will just stick down the mirror card using my famous Cosmic Shimmer acrylic glue, which I just can't go past. Okay, that's that, and then we'll just set that off to one side, and we're going to put down a piece of watercolor cardstock, and then put down our stencil. Now with the Sweet Poppy stencils, they've got an item number and some writing on them. Always make sure that is facing up. So because you're putting your magnetic sheet underneath, your metal stencil will stick to it. So I'm literally just gonna pop that in the middle. Just like that, and you can see how that has stuck nicely. Now this is the Pixie Sparkles are not really going to move too much, so I'm not going to double stick it with stencil tape this time. So I'll just show you how this one works. So just a little bit of a mist. I'm going to tap on the Copper Splash just all over, and I am going to do a little bit on the bow as well, just purely because the sample one I've made, I've put the die cut up on foam tape, so you might be able to see a little bit underneath. So I didn't want to leave it all white just in case, so we'll have a bit of colour going underneath too, but it really doesn't have to be all covered. Okay, just make sure you get into just all the little nooks and crannies, and again just give it a light mist. And I have got a brush here, so I'm just going to move it around and make sure it gets into the corners of the leaves and things like that, just quickly like that. And there's some little pine cones dotted in here, so we just want to make sure that we get those as well. There we go, and it's literally that easy. Then I'm just going to get a bit of paper towel and just slightly dab it off. You can have it, you can leave it dark if you want to dry like that. But for this one, I've just gone quite light. So I'm just move some of this excess off. And then just put my finger under there. And there we have it. How good was that. See the sparkle in it? And that's just one colour of the Pixie Sparkles. I just love this copper splash. Now it is really important to clean down your stencil as soon as you've used it. So I've just got a bowl of soapy water here beside me and just a little nail brush. I'm just going to give it a quick wash. I'm not going to put it on my bench and show you because sure as shot I will end up with water all over the place. And then just dry it off with a towel just really quickly. And if you do this, this will really look after your stencils. Just don't leave anything to dry on them. It's too hard to get off. So that's that, because we're going to use that again on the next card. So there we go. All nice and dry. Okay, so we'll put that to one side. And I have already done another one that is dry. That's one I did earlier, but this does dry. You could dry it off with a heat gun if you wanted to speed it up a little bit. It doesn't really take too long. So this literally then just gets glued onto the mirror cardstock. Like that. And I'm using the Creative Expressions 300 GSM watercolor cardstock here. It's just a beautiful bright white and it's just really pretty. Then I've cut out one of the bow dies in the rose gold to match. I'll just show you on another one. I actually ran this one through an embossing folder and that looks quite nice too, but for this one I've actually just left it plain. Then all I've done is got a little bead, a pearl bead on a piece of wire. You could put a gem on it, you could put anything you want on it. I just felt like it needed something in the middle because I hadn't embossed it. And then I just got some foam tape. And I think I've just forgotten my scissors. Let's see if I can tear it. Yep, there we go. So that literally just goes on there. I've lost my little pearl. Just stick that back on like that and just pop that down the middle. And there you have it. How gorgeous is that? Beautiful. All right, so on to the next one. Pop that off to one side. And this is the same stencil, but I've actually used some texture paste going through this one. So I'll give you an idea how that one works. Again, I've just got a 5x7 card blank. Put down some of our lovely red cardstock. Instant cards. What more could you ask for? And we have got our magnet. I'm going to put some paper towel underneath this time because I do get a bit messy with this. And newly cleaned stencil on our watercolor cardstock. Just line it up. Now this time, because I'm using texture paste, I am going to use some of the Sweet Poppy stencil tape just to hold it in place. This is ultra low tack tape. and it is the best stuff ever. Comes in at $8 a roll, I think. Okay, and then I'm also going to use the Sweet Poppy stencil spreader, and I've got a little plastic palette knife, and because this is quite a small fine stencil, I'm actually going to run it this way rather than this way. So what we do, I'm using some of the Cosmic Shimmer clear texture paste. And we're just going to put it onto the side and put it on your masking tape, because we're going to draw off that onto the stencil. And I'm still mastering this side of it, so just bear with me. But the stencils make it much easier. Right, let's see if that's enough. Then I'm just going to drag it from, starting off from the tape and just pulling it all the way along. Just like that. Take the excess off. Put that back in the jar. And again, just like with these stencils, just give this a quick wash. There we go. Done. And for this one, I'm going to use some of the original Pixie powder. So this isn't the Pixie Sparkle. This is the Pale Olive Pixie Powder. And this has got quite a few other different colors in. So I'm going to miss the bow, and I'm just going to go around the edges, on the branches and on the little pine cones. If you get some on your bow, it doesn't matter, but just try avoid it if you can. There we go. Nearly done. These little bottles just last forever. Pixie powders are $7.95 each, and the Pixie Sparkles are $8.95 each. Then in the middle on the bow, I have used Sandstorm, which is very nice and golden and sandy, as it suggests. There we go. Little spritz of water. Now with I have here a little tiny blending brush, just to make sure that the color gets on the leaves, on the branches rather. And if it takes away the smoothness, that's okay. That's not the end of the world, because branches are a little bit uneven, but it just makes sure you get into all the little nooks. And again, how instant is this? Just like that. And the bow, I'm sure, is going to be fun. I don't think we need to do too much to that. It's just making sure I haven't missed any of the little branches. Okay, just give that a quick rinse. I know if I don't do it now, that will be it. I will forget, and it will end up in the bin. And then it's just a case of removing your tape. And again, because you've got your magnetic sheet, you're less likely to lift up your stencil and wreck what you work doing underneath. And because it's low, super low tack, it just lifts up really easily. as you can see. It doesn't stick to your cardstock. Right, I usually lift the magnet up like that and just pop my thumbnail under there and lift it off like that. Pop the stencil straight into the water. That can stay there this time because we're not using it again. And there you have it. Just see the shine on that. There's another one that I did earlier because they need time to dry. Just gonna wipe off this. And that then, like the other, will get put down onto your cardstock. Whoa. Just like that. I haven't put any sentiments on these as yet, but there's plenty of options as to where you can put them. And I think it probably needs something, but I just didn't get around to doing it. And then all I've done is put a bit of glue in the middle there, popped on a large red pearl, and I'm not going to lift that one because it's wet, but there we have it. Pixie sparkles with texture paste. Pop that off to the side. Now the next one we're going to do is we're going to use the circle stencil, the aperture one, and I will show you how to use that on this one here. And this is just a Lavinia stamp, which is this one, Christmas night, and the little stars, Star Group Mini. Okay, and I've got a 6 by 12 inch piece of cardstock, fold it in half, and then some blue, plain blue cardstock, 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Straight down onto there. And then I've got a piece of watercolor cardstock, 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. Now, because it's just a circle, I'm pretty sure I can get away without taping it down. So I just line it up on the back, put my fingers over, straight down onto there. Remember, writing at the front. So a little mist with water. And for this one, I used Boulevard Lights, which is gold with a bit of black in it. And a little bit of blue. It looks a little bit purpley when it's wet, but kind of doesn't dry like that. And some molten gold, but you can mix them up. You can do any colors you like. I just wanted to look a bit like the night sky. That's that, and I think I might have used a little bit of blue wish in it. I forgot to write them down, so I apologise. But you just keep going until you get the colour that you want. Another little spritz with water. And if that's not quite dark enough, we might put a bit more Boulevard Lights in. A bit more of a spritz. This is just to activate the powder. And just pat it off. Yeah, there is bits of lilac in there, you can just see it. Rightio, that's that one. And then, now because the cardstock is smaller than the stencil, that one, I couldn't put my thumb underneath and lift it. So perfect circle, just gorgeous. All right, put that to one side and just give this a quick rub. And the other reason you need to give them a quick clean too, because especially when you're using the Pixie Sparkles, they do tend to bleed quite easily. And they've got so many different colours in them. They're not just one colour. So if you go to work on something else, you might have another colour coming through that you really don't want there. So it's really important to give them a wipe. But if you do that, it's really quick and easy to keep them clean and in good condition too. I also sell these magnets. If you haven't got them, they're $2 each. Dry. And again, look after your magnets too. They might not cost much, but if you keep them smooth, they're going to last a lot longer than if you get residue left on them that dries. Okay, so that off to there. That's this. There's another one that I did earlier. I would normally take a little bit more time with this, but just for the demo, it needs to be speeded up a little bit. Now, how nice would this be too, with just as a general card for birthdays or all sorts of things. These come in lots of different shapes. So I've got an oblong, an oval. There is a star, which there's hearts in them. I am just building my stock of these. So if there's anything that you see that I haven't got, I can order it in for you. I'm not going to stamp this, but you can see I've literally just got the Lavinia stamp there and just popped him down there. And then with some of the little stars, I've just gone around the stars. So that pretty well explains itself there. What's that one? And then we have one more. I'll show you how I did it. Again, I've used the circle aperture and I've used the texture paste. So this is just normal cardstock this time. This isn't watercolor cardstock. Just line it up on the back. Stick it down. And I will put some tape on there because it's easier to run your paste off the tape if you've got protection around the outsides. Anybody who does cake decorating would be a lot better at this than I am, for sure. but I do find this spreader has helped a lot, especially on the circle. On the first few that I did, I tended to miss some pieces or be too heavy with it and lift it off where it shouldn't have been. But since I started using this, I've got a lot more even spread. And seeing that, and I just missed one little bit down the corner. And I think the thing is too, not to go too heavy, otherwise you do lift it, which is what I've just done there. There we go. And because it's like the sun or the earth or the circle, it doesn't really matter if it is a bit uneven. Smooth it out. See, this is where all you cake decorators come and shine. There we go, that's that. Put that in some water because we're not going to use that again. And this time I have used, there's a little bit of copper splash in it. And there's a bit of Boulevard Lights. And I have also used in this one a little bit of the Frozen Pearl, which is a white highlighter. It's got a beautiful little sparkle with it. There we go. And because it is on texture paste and not mixed in with it, I do need to activate the powder with the water just a little bit. If you were mixing it into the texture paste before you spread it on, then obviously you wouldn't need to, because the texture paste would activate it. And then just peel it off. And because it's got so much mica in it, that's why you can see it really well with the texture paste, and it doesn't lose anything. It doesn't lose its shine. There we go. Looks a bit like the earth, doesn't it? That one came out a little bit darker, but see the shine on it. And then all I've done with that after this, I've mounted, again, I've used the little Lavinia stars. Just a Christmas tree die that I had from a long time ago. But if anybody would like a couple of those cut out, just put a message that you've watched this video and I'll pop you in a couple of free ones. I've stamped out a Merry Christmas, literally, and then just fussy cut around the outside and put that on with some foam tape. So it's a little bit different too. It's almost like a desert Christmas, I think, that one. And then lastly, I did do this one. Now, I used the circle aperture underneath, but I wasn't quite happy with how I'd done it. So I then cut it out, and I've just put a round frame from 2 circle dies and a Merry Christmas out of this Merry Christmas die, and just stuck that along the front just for something different. I mean, you could, if you wanted to have this effect, you could do it in a square and then just cut your piece out and stick it onto some white cardstock. You don't need to use the aperture for that. You could just do it on a scrap piece of cardstock. So there we go. That's all the cards that I've done. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope it inspires you to give the Sweet Poppy stencils a try. They really are magnificent, and I just love them. So thank you for watching. If you need to know anything, you want to ask more questions, either email me at jcraftcrafts.com.au. You're welcome to give me a call, 0417 393 057, or have a look on the website, www.jcraft.com.au. Thanks for watching. See you next time.